What's going on YouTube? Josh here checking in, back with another video. As you guys can see here, it's going to be some max attempts for the bench and the overhead press. So this footage is over 2 weeks old and I haven't posted anything new on the channel recently, basically because I've been swamped with school. I'm on a surgical rotation right now, so I have to get to the hospital usually somewhere between 5 and 6 a.m. and I usually get out when it's basically getting dark, so I don't have much time for much aside from training, being in the hospital, and eating, you know, and I occasionally sleep in there as well. So anyway, this is just some max attempts. I'm going to show you some of the warm-ups. The first one was 205, this is 225, and I'll slowly be building up. So my previous 1 rep max was 270 pounds with a pause. That was 3 white lights at a USAPL powerlifting meet back at the end of May. So if you guys are new to the channel, I basically am dealing with a recurring injury in my hip, and I had to stop going heavy on lower body stuff because I got an injection in my hip. I decided to sort of continue with that training cycle that I bailed on for lower body for the upper body work to see if I made any progress on my bench press and my overhead press. So this was my max day, so to speak. As you can see, obviously I'm recording from 2 angles. And the reason for that is to ensure that the lift is good based on powerlifting standards. Now if this was just a regular gym lift, it really doesn't matter if your butt comes up a little bit, but you know, any movement of the butt up, like in that one you just saw with 265, that's a red light, and that's no lift in a powerlifting meet. So I slowly worked up. 275 would be a 5-pound PR for me. You see I'm kind of getting worked up there, getting ready to go, getting mentally focused. You know, so at this point I'm really trying to focus on keeping my butt down. It's definitely a big compromise where you sort of sacrifice some leg drive to keep the butt down, and that's something that just takes a lot of practice with. Unfortunately, in this training cycle, a good portion of the training cycle I was not able to train in my own gym, so I got a little sloppy there, and as you can see, my butt was coming up on this 275. So I decided to actually go up to 280 pounds because the 275 felt pretty good. The only issue was really that the butt came up. So you guys will see that, you know, basically similar approach, similar setup, and unfortunately my butt came up again. So in the end, you know, did I make progress on this training cycle? You know, this obviously would not have counted in a powerlifting meet, but adding 10 pounds-ish to my bench press on one training cycle is pretty good, considering my bench is by far my weakest lift, and I usually don't get more than 5 pounds on a training cycle. So obviously I can't exactly say that I added 10 pounds to my bench because my butt is coming up, so you know, maybe that's definitely helping me out a bit, despite the fact that, you know, it's coming up maybe just a hair, maybe a few centimeters. But you know, going forward I'm definitely going to have to be more cognizant of that and really start recording myself more diligently from the beginning of the training cycle. Anyway, moved on to some overhead press. I only included the last 2 repetitions. My previous 1 rep max was 185 pounds, and I hadn't tested this out in a long time. So that was 190. It was obviously a grinder. My triceps were pretty shot considering I did a bunch of heavy bench pressing prior to this, but it didn't feel like a complete 1 rep max attempt, so I decided to add 5 pounds more on for 195 and see what I could do. So as you can see, this was obviously a struggle. I really did my best to try and not lean back too much and really tighten those glutes. So anyway guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one.